Ladies and gentlemen, today is not just another day. This is not just another speech. This is a wake-up call, a line in the sand, a voice roaring across the noise of your life, challenging you to stop sleepwalking through your potential and start living with purpose. Because let's be honest, too many of us are merely existing, going through the motions, settling for just enough instead of demanding more from ourselves. We've been taught to play it safe, to wait for permission, to hope someone else sees our value before we dare to move. But let me tell you something. Greatness does not knock politely. It doesn't whisper in your ear. It doesn't wait until you feel ready. Greatness demands your attention. It challenges your excuses. It dares you to rise. Ladies and gentlemen, this message is for the ones who feel like they've been holding back, for the warriors in hiding, for the lions living like lambs. This message is for the fighters who forgot how strong they really are. You see, there's a fire inside you, a hunger, a spark that refuses to be snuffed out, no matter how many times life tried to dim your light. That fire is not there by accident. It's there for a reason. It's there to remind you that you were never meant to be average. You were never meant to settle. You were born for the fight. And yes, life will challenge you. It will push you to your breaking point. It will throw storms, setbacks, heartbreaks, and failures your way. But those aren't signs that you're finished. They're signs that you're being forged. So many people run from pain. They run from pressure. They shrink in the face of fear. But not you. You're different. You're here because something inside of you refuses to give up. Something inside you is screaming, there has to be more than this. And you're right, there is. But you won't find it waiting. You won't find it wishing. You'll only find it when you stand up, face the storm, and say, I was made for this. Today is about reclaiming your fight. It's about reigniting your passion. It's about unlocking the version of you that doesn't flinch at adversity but feeds off of it, that doesn't crumble under pressure but rises because of it. This is your invitation to transform, to step into your full power, to test your might, not in theory, but in action. Because the world doesn't need another person trying to blend in. The world is desperate for people bold enough to stand out. So if you're ready, if you're truly ready to leave behind the excuses, the delays, the doubts, then prepare yourself, because the journey you're about to take won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. The moment has arrived. Test your might, the challenge before you. There comes a moment in every life when the waiting ends. A moment when you're no longer called to sit back, to dream passively, or to hope that things will magically change. That moment comes like a roar from the heavens, a command, a challenge, a fire igniting in your soul, and it shouts, test your might. This is not just a phrase, it's a call to arms, a call to battle, a call to rise. Because you weren't born to live a quiet life of hesitation. You weren't created to tiptoe through life trying not to get hurt. You were made to break barriers. You were born to conquer fear. You were designed to face the storm and come out the other side, not only alive, but stronger, wiser, sharper. You see, life doesn't hand out greatness. It doesn't reward the comfortable. It doesn't celebrate the lukewarm. Life honors the bold. It respects the relentless. It bows to the ones who dared to step into the fire and refuse to be consumed by it. So when that moment comes, when you feel the weight of the world pressing down on you, when it feels like everything is on the line, that's not the time to retreat. That's the time to advance. Every obstacle you've ever faced was a stepping stone. Every heartbreak, every failure, every sleepless night, every rejection, it all had a purpose. It was preparing you, molding you, forging you into someone capable of meeting the test that stands before you now. This is the moment where you stop wondering what could be and you start becoming what must be. This is where you abandon excuses and embrace execution. This is where you push beyond the limits that once defined you. This is where you say, I've had enough of average. I've had enough of waiting. I've had enough of doubting myself. Now I rise. Because you can't fake strength. You can't fake courage. You can't fake greatness. These things are earned in the battlefield of life. They are earned when you choose discipline over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and persistence over panic. So don't fear the challenge. Welcome it. Let it come. Let it roar. Let it rage, because deep down you know you're ready. You've been building toward this moment your whole life. Every scar you carry is proof that you didn't break. You endured, you adapted, you grew. Now is the time to unleash all that you are. No more hesitation. No more waiting for the right time. No more shrinking to fit the comfort of others. It's time to roll back at life with everything you've got. Test your might, because the world doesn't need another dreamer. It needs a warrior. And that warrior is you, the fire within. When the world goes quiet and you're left alone with your thoughts, that's when the real war begins. It's not the battles on the outside that test your might the most. It's the war within. That internal conflict between who you are and who you could be. Between fear and faith. Between quitting and pushing through. And here's the truth. Every single person has a fire inside them. But most never let it burn. Most smother it with self-doubt, with fear of failure, with the comfort of fitting in. But not you. Not anymore. You are standing on the edge of your potential, and it's time to leap. It's time to feed the fire within you, not extinguish it. Because greatness never comes from ease. It comes from pressure. From pushing yourself past the limits your mind tries to set. That fire inside you, that's not anger, that's not frustration. That is your passion screaming to be unleashed. You see, there's a reason why you keep feeling like you're meant for more. There's a reason why average never satisfies you. It's because the fire in you was never meant to burn quietly. It was meant to rise like an inferno, lighting your path, fueling your grind, and blazing through every excuse standing in your way. The people who rise, the ones who break barriers and change their destiny, they're not always the most talented, but they're the most determined. They're the ones who turn pain into power, who turn pressure into fuel, who take the fire inside them and burn through every obstacle. You don't need permission to go after your dream. You don't need applause to keep going. You just need to remember who you are. You're the one who made it through every storm. You're the one who's been knocked down but never knocked out. You're the one who kept moving forward when no one believed in you, not even yourself. That fire is still in you. Maybe it's been quiet. Maybe life tried to put it out. But it's still there. And it's ready to rise. Let it burn. Let it remind you of your strength. Let it light the path ahead. Because the people who change their lives don't wait to feel ready. They decide they're ready. They choose to rise even when it's hard. They choose to fight even when it hurts. They choose to believe even when the odds are stacked against them. So ask yourself, are you going to let that fire fade, or are you going to fan it into a force the world can't ignore? This is the part where most people give up, but not you. You're just getting started. Let the fire within become the force that carries you to your destiny. Test your might and let the world feel your heat. There comes a moment in every journey when you reach the edge, that invisible line between what you've endured and what you're not sure you can survive. That, my friend, is the breaking point. It's where your legs shake, your mind screams, your heart questions. It's a place where dreams either die or are reborn. And it's there, right there, where your might is truly tested. Everyone loves the idea of strength, of rising, of grinding, of conquering. But few understand where real strength is forged. It's not in comfort. It's not in applause. It's not in winning every time. It's in the moments when you're broken and you still choose to rise. You see, strength is not about how much you can lift. It's about how much you can carry when everything feels heavy. It's about what you do when quitting feels easier than continuing. It's about pushing forward when the pain is louder than your passion. This is the moment that defines you. The breaking point is sacred, because on the other side of it is transformation. The person you were is gone, and the person you're becoming is fighting to be born. That pain you feel right now, that resistance, it's not a sign to stop. It's the signal that you're on the verge of becoming something more. Champions aren't made when it's easy. They're made in the dark, in the moments nobody sees. When you're crying behind closed doors but still show up the next day. When your body is drained but your soul says just one more round. When your mind whispers, "I can't," and your heart roars, "Try me." That's the moment that separates the average from the extraordinary, the weak from the warriors, the talkers from the doers. So when you hit that wall, when the weight feels unbearable, don't turn back. Don't let go. Don't stop. Dig deeper. Breathe slower. Focus harder. And remember, you're not being buried. You're being planted. The pressure you're feeling, it's building something inside you. Grit, character, unshakable discipline. And those qualities, they can't be given. They can only be earned. This is your test. Life is asking you, do you really want this? Or do you just like the idea of it? Because if you want it, you're going to have to fight for it. Harder than ever before. But here's the beauty of the breaking point. If you refuse to break, you become unbreakable. So don't fear the pain. Don't run from the breaking point. Embrace it. Lean into it. Let it crack the shell of who you used to be and reveal the warrior who's been waiting to rise. Test your mind. Right here, right now, in this moment of struggle, your strength is being born. Don't give up, level up. Rise from the ashes. There's something powerful about being broken, about falling flat, about hitting rock bottom. Because in that shattered place, in that space where everything seems lost, something rare begins to happen. You stop pretending, you stop running, and you start rebuilding. And that's where the true power lies. You see, the ashes of your failure are not the end. They are the beginning. You may feel like you've lost everything, but what you've really lost are the limitations, the old beliefs, the false comforts, the excuses. And what remains is raw potential, pure fire, the core of who you really are. It's in this rebirth that your might becomes unstoppable. Pain will break the weak, but it will awaken the warrior. It will light a fire that comfort never could. When you've been knocked down and humiliated, when you've tasted disappointment so bitter it almost makes you give up, yet still you rise. That's when you discover something the world can't take from you. Resilience. Resilience is not built in ease, it's forged in the flame. It's the decision to keep showing up even when no one is watching, to keep fighting even when no one is cheering, to keep believing in yourself even when everything around you says you should give up. It's that small voice inside that says, this isn't the end, this is the beginning of something greater. The world may count you out, they may label you as a failure, a loser, a has-been, but you don't have time for their labels. You're too busy rewriting your story. You're too focused on building your comeback to entertain their judgment. You are not done. The ashes do not define you, they refine you. You are rising now, not because life made it easy, but because you refuse to stay down. You are learning to use your scars as armor, your past as power, and your pain as fuel. This is what transformation looks like. It's not pretty, it's not perfect, it's messy and brutal and real, but that's what makes it beautiful. You don't need to rise looking polished, you just need to rise. Limp if you have to. Crawl if you must. Just don't stay there. Don't let your story end in defeat when it was always meant to be one of redemption. So when the world sees ashes, you see rebirth. When they see ruins, you see the foundation of something stronger. When they see weakness, you feel your strength growing silently inside. You are rising from the ashes with a fire that no storm can put out. You've been tested, you've been tried, and now it's time to rise. This is your moment. This is your comeback. This is the chapter where you remind the world exactly who you are. Test your might and rise. Prove it to yourself. This is it, the final test. Not a test graded by society, not a test marked by trophies, applause, or approval. No, this test is personal. It's between you and you. And the only question is, will you rise to your potential or will you retreat into comfort? This isn't about proving anything to the world. Forget the doubters, forget the critics, forget the people who gave up on you before you even started. This is about proving something to the one person who matters most, yourself. You want success? You want freedom? You want that life you see in your dreams? Then stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. This moment. this choice, this test. You've already survived pain. You've already overcome obstacles others couldn't handle. You've already come further than you ever thought you would. And if you take a second to look back, you'll see you are not the same person you were before. You are stronger, smarter, tougher, wiser. So why stop now? This is not the time to slow down. This is the time to push harder. This is the time to dig deep and give it everything you've got. Because greatness doesn't come to those who dabble. It doesn't reward the ones who try once and quit. It crowns those who show up every single day, no matter how tired, how afraid, how discouraged they feel. The world is full of people who had potential but no follow-through. Don't be one of them. Be the one who followed through when it was hard. Be the one who kept going when it would have been easier to quit. Be the one who passed the test. Because when you pass this test, when you face your fears, when you silence your inner critic, when you stop blaming the world and take full ownership of your life, you unlock something most people never do. You unlock your might. That's the power that's been waiting inside you this whole time. Not a fake confidence, not a mask, but real, earned power. Power that came from doing the hard things. Power that came from walking through fire and still standing tall. You don't need anyone else to validate you. You don't need anyone else to believe in you. All you need is to believe in yourself. So prove it. Prove it to the old version of you that doubted your strength. Prove it to the future you who's counting on your discipline today. Prove it to the fire inside that refuses to die out. This is your mountain, climb it. This is your race, run it. This is your battle, win it. Because when it's all said and done, the only thing that will matter is that you showed up, gave it your all, and never backed down. Test your might and prove to yourself that you were always more than enough. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've made it to this moment, if your heart is beating a little faster, your spirit feels like it's on fire, and your mind is racing with what's possible, then something in you has awakened. And that something is the truth of who you really are. You are not broken. You are not defeated. You are not too late. You are becoming. The road ahead will not get easier, but you will get stronger. Because from this day forward, you're no longer waiting for motivation to strike. You're not sitting around hoping for a sign. You are the sign. You're not waiting for someone to give you permission to live fully. You've just taken it. Everything you need is already inside of you. The strength, the courage, the fire. It's all there. Life didn't put you through trials to break you. It was building you, preparing you, carving out the version of yourself that could carry the weight of the destiny you've been called to fulfill. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to move despite the fear. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to take the next step. That's what testing your might is all about. It's not perfection. It's persistence. It's not waiting until you feel strong. It's choosing to be strong when everything tells you to give up. Every challenge you faced was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of your breakthrough. Every tear you shed, every sleepless night, every moment of self-doubt, it wasn't wasted. It was fuel. It was firewood for the flame inside you to grow stronger. So rise up, not someday, not when it's convenient, not when everything is perfect. Now. This is your time. This is your turning point. This is where you stop living small and start living strong. Where you no longer seek comfort, you chase growth. Where you no longer wait for change, you become the change. You've been tested, you've been bent, you've been bruised, but you are still here. And that means you're not done. So walk forward with power in your steps and fire in your soul. Speak with boldness, act with intention, live with purpose. And every time life pushes back, every time the storm rages and fear creeps in, you look it dead in the eye and say, test my might. Because from now on, you're not playing small. You're not dimming your light. You're not apologizing for your ambition. You're rising. And the world better be ready for the storm you're about to become. Now go, test your might, never look back.